last night. We had 14 SSO, sanitary sewer overflows, across the city. When you consider in some locations receiving over 9 inches of rain, the team the work of Jared and his team out in very hazardous conditions last night to get that not only identified but managed is certainly impressive. And one of the things I am really proud of our city is that we actually publish our SSOs. We don't hide them from anyone. We put them out for everyone to see and know, and to make certain that people are notified. The other interesting fact is that our amphitheater rain gauge, we had 7.84 inches of rain, but 4.51 inches fell within 2 hours. That kind of gives you an idea of the type of rain that we had, the impact of the rain in our community. And I would imagine in North Tuscaloosa, and certainly we all saw those images in Northport as well, I would suspect those numbers were even higher. The city itself responded to dozens of flooding calls across the city. IPS did a fantastic job in doing that, and I noticed coming into work this morning that we already got the slope failure on 21st Avenue out of the way. And again, I want to thank our IPS team members for making that happen. Last night, fire and rescue was extremely busy. They responded to 10 major vehicle accidents, 23 medical calls, 1 fire, 14 cases of flooding where they had to use technical rescue, 2 electrical hazards, 4 trees down, 1 technical issue, 3 lift assistants, and 1 gas leak. So they certainly were busy throughout the night. Again, I can't say enough about IPS, TBD, Tuscaloosa Fire and Rescue, and what they were able to do. But the reason why I wanted to have the media here was to talk about an issue that has surfaced over the last few hours that's going to require the attention of especially all of our residents in South Tuscaloosa. Behind me, you see a map of the city's Lake Tuscaloosa raw water intake tower up here, up on your screen. These blue lines that you see are our major raw water lines that run through here. Those major water lines eventually come to a lift station here, and there's 3 of these major water lines. 2 were built with Lake Tuscaloosa, 1 was built about 2 decades ago. And they feed into this raw water pumping station that then pumps the water into the Ed Love water treatment plant. Now the Ed Love water treatment plant has a capacity of about 40 million gallons per day of treated water, and it provides water for all of South Tuscaloosa, including the university, Mercedes, and many water authorities that are outside the city of Tuscaloosa as well. Well, about 6 a.m. this morning, the operators at the Ed Love water treatment plant began noticing turbidity within our system. That means the water that we were intaking was cloudy, and it certainly reflected that something was amiss. Now, in rainy events, this is not uncommon. A lot of times you do get some siltation, but our operators were wise enough to realize that something different was going on. Simultaneously, the Ed Love raw water pumping station began seeing signs of depressurization. In fact, we at a rate of normally of about 30 psi, 25 psi, we saw numbers as low as 4 psi, but always as consistently about 6 a.m. this morning below 10 psi. What that means in layman's terms is that right now we can only pump at a capacity of about 22 million gallons per day. Now that's sufficient for today. Coming off a major rain event, I don't think we're going to see a lot of irrigation that's going to be going on across the city, plus a lot of extra water use. But it does set up some issues that we need to take very seriously. This pumping station, as I mentioned earlier, is the key to getting all the raw water from Lake Tuscaloosa for treatment into the Ed Love treatment plant. Without it, it can jeopardize our ability to provide water across the river. Now, this leak, this depressurization is likely caused by a leak somewhere in our system. The issue that we have is that we cannot locate that leak at this point. And it's really easy to understand why. If you look at the trajectory of these water lines, they're in and along either North River or the river itself. And if you've driven over the bridge, you have noticed that those areas are flooded. So those raw water lines are covered either in water or vegetation. Now where we have had some receding, we have seen signs, I'm going to show you a picture, of slope failures. You can see the line over here, right here, that's one of the raw water lines. And you can see this slope failure. This is on the eastern side of Bryant Bridge on the north side of the river, where the raw water lines run. When you have the type of torrential downpours that you have, you're probably going to have other slope failures like this, potentially in and along that 2-mile stretch. But again, since most of the area is underwater at this point, we cannot locate. Now, how long, you can go back to the next slide. How long will this take? We could be finding it right now, or it could take days. And the issue is, if it takes days, then that can create some negative impacts for our community.